Hi, everybody. This is GM John Fedorowicz for ICC's Game of the Day recap coverage of the Tata Steel Vikings traditional tournament going on now in Vikings Holland. About 45-minute train ride away from Amsterdam. You take a train to Beverwijk and then a number 76 bus, if that's what you still do. One time the organizers wanted to pick me up, and I was living with Larry Christensen in Germany, and I was an emergency last-minute replacement to play in the B group. And I told them that's okay, I could get there by myself, and I really knew my way around there. I think I played their A group one time and B group 3 times, I think, and always enjoyed going to Vikings A lot. And although the sponsors have changed over the years, I'm glad the tournament's still going. I love it when these traditional tournaments stay around. It's always sad when they go away. I'm glad that this Vikings A tournament continues, and also glad that Hastings is still around also. The only thing that I could say that bothers me a little bit is that there's a conflict, a short overlap between the Tata Steel and the Gibraltar Tradewise tournament that began in the other day in Gibraltar. And it has a couple-day overlap, and Nakamura for the past few years has played there, and also Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and a lot of other strong tournaments are in that Gibraltar tournament, which is going on now. I remember last week, well, it was actually 2 weeks ago, these tournaments take a long time. So I remember that Alex Yermolinsky, I liked the way he started his thing saying, like, all right, okay. So we didn't have any world-class chess for 2 weeks, and we had to wait 2 weeks for another big tournament to come on after the end of the Qatar Master tournament. And here we are now, and we have the Vikings A group. The B group isn't bad, and also Gibraltar started a few days ago, and that's an open tournament, and that has a lot of interesting games also. So let's get to some chess here. Going into this round, well, it's pretty clear Magnus is in control going into this round with a point lead over Fabiano Caruana. Magnus had 8 points after 11 rounds, and now has and Fabiano had 7 points. But Magnus had the black pieces today against American Wesley So, and in the meantime, Fabiano had the white pieces against Luke Van Welly. So this is a situation where perhaps Fabiano can make up some ground and make it an interesting last round, put some pressure on Carlsen, and this is what happened. So let's get started here with the Fabianos playing white against Van Welly, and Fabiano played E4 against Luke, and Luke is pretty much, well, he's played different Sicilians, but I would say that most of the time he's playing the Najdorf defense, and Fabiano is a very good white side Najdorf defense player with the English attack, and that's the kind of game that we had today. So Fabiano play open Sicilian. At the Grandmaster level, you see nothing but open Sicilians. You might see a bishop to B5 check from, Carlsen likes to get those Maroczy blind positions from the bishop B5 checks. But I would say other than that, you get these open Sicilians quite frequently. And that's what happened today, and A6. And now there's lots of choices, but on the GM level, you hardly ever see bishop G5 anymore. I think they're afraid of the poison pawn the most. And the poison pawn's been a reliable weapon for black for quite a long time. Of course, if you're going to play the poison pawn, you better really know what you're doing, because it's a lot of theory. But if you're a professional GM, I guess you have time to study it, and then it's a great weapon. The old lines with bishop E7 and queen C7 aren't bad either. So bishop G5 has been figured out, I think, on the higher levels. You really don't see it that much anymore. Other moves